Ophiophagus Hannah turned up, which
Never heard of her.
it was beside. It was the things that you don't feed turnips to, which is the King Cobra.
Actually?
Yeah, that was the Latin. It was the Latin.
But he will eat it?
Yeah, that you shouldn't feed too much of it. It'll mess with their thyroid, apparently.
And what happens? A King Cobra starts to gain weight? What's the big deal if it messes with his thyroid?
He's just an enormous King Cobra with a big lumpy head.
Is
or
he
something.
eating something? He's looking around. No, turnips. It's
bad
it's thyroid.
guys.
It's bad for his thyroid.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
I am Jurassic Mark, and I am standing right snugly close to the very lovely Skinny.
Feeling it,
What's happening?
loving it, losing it.
Losing it. Yeah, still on the wagon.
Oh, not there. I was like more.
Losing your hair?
Yeah, it's getting worse
You think?
all the time. I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, it's just a runaway follicle train. It's not going crazy.
He has a catchy name like that. Runaway follicle train. That's going to catch on.
Yeah. Or just abbreviated to balding or
Yeah, whatever.
balding.
Receding hairline. I haven't noticed.
If I was in football, what position would I be in?
I don't know.
I would be a wide receiver.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I was like, is there full bald, full back? I don't know. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we are again. Another episode, another day, another not a dollar.
So, do tell, how was your Easters?
Easter was good. You know what I did? This is very non-Easter, but you know what I did over the last few days is it's been years. I got my eyes checked.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, so I've been kind of noticing distance.
What prompted you to get your eyes checked?
Well, it's only when I'm kind of tired, and I used to like look across, you know, in
Football
I remember
stadiums.
going across the stadium and going, I can read everything over there. And then lately it's like my right eye, I'm kind of doing this camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2 is not in focus. So I went and got it checked, and it turns out that I could use some glasses. But collectively, still 2020. Mm-hmm. So I guess in the grand scheme, I'm
One is
not
more
blind.
2020 than the other?
Oh, here's an interesting thing. They take pictures of the insides of your eyes, and they're like, let me show you the pictures.
Did you see your soul?
Could see right through my soul. Anyway, they showed.
What did it look
they're
like?
showing me this picture of the insides of my eyes, and she's like, "You see this little spot here and this little spot here?" And I'm like, "Oh no, is this about to be bad news?"
And by the way, you've got a hole in the back of your eye.
So she's like, "Those are freckles." I'm like, "What is that? What does that mean for me?"
What does that mean?
And she's like, "You know, freckles. Like you have freckle on your people have freckles." I'm like,
No.
"It's just a freckle." She's yeah, it's nothing. You have freckles in your eyes. Which just goes to prove that I am adorable inside and out.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
This freckle
I have
thing?
freckles on the inside of my eyes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So does that mean more sun that you get, or when you don't wear sunglasses, like your vision could get more?
I don't know. She didn't address it like it was anything serious. She's just like, don't worry about these. Those are freckles.
It hits that point where it's like, those are birthmarks. They're getting a little big and lumpy.
But how, like, I can't, you know, when you have a freckle and it starts to do weird things, you go see a doctor, like, I'll have no idea. I'm like, look into my eyes. How are my freckles looking? Yeah, so I've got freckles in my eyes. Which is unrelated to, you know, maybe next episode or the episode after that, I might be wearing glasses.
Perfect.
Yep.
Nice.
So
start in
when
with
you
the
do your
cranks
nerd, your push up your glasses, I'll actually have some nerd glasses to push up.
You'll pull that off. No worries.
Yeah, we'll see.
Are you going to do some funky Barney Rubble kind of glasses?
Does Barney Rubble wear glasses?
Little Buddy Holly kind of thing?
That's what I tried on is like the big, obnoxious, thick black glasses.
Buddy Holly.
But I haven't actually ordered any yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's all right.
I'm not going to get... I did also try on like Unabomber.
Ted
like,
Kaczynski glasses?
Yeah, Aviator, terrible. Carl, what's his name glasses? Like they're awful.
Sagan.
That's it.
Lewis.
No. Carl...
Juniors.
I was thinking Justin Bieber's pastor. Carl something.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like hanging
Carl
out with-
Juniors I know.
Carl Junior's. Carl Junior's glasses.
And he had glasses because
Carl's Jr. did?
Yeah, he had like grease poisoning or something.
Nice. All right, so
Those weren't
how about you?
freckles.
How was your week?
Oh, it was great. I love the Easters.
Yeah.
We still my kids range from like 18 to 11, but we still do like egg hunts.
And
the 18-year-old is just as excited as the 11-year-old.
Of course, it's still chocolate.
Yeah, so that was super fun. And then family nonsense carrying on. So I'm a big fan of the Easters. And then we had big faith celebration at the church, and we ate some pancakes, and we did some Jesus songs, and it was an amazing weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Easter is a fantastic holiday.
It is. It really is. And now it's over. Now we're back into regular work week. But there's something special about Easter, too, because it's like you got to, depending on where you work and how your business operates, it's not just, it's a Monday stat. It's like there's Good Friday, there's Easter Sunday, there's Easter Monday. Like, what else can we add to this?
Never ending.
Like 2 weeks off for Easter.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I know.
What is Ash Wednesday?
I don't know. I saw a few people posting. I know it's a Catholic thing, but it must be just the Wednesday before, right? The Wednesday before Easter.
I don't know. Maybe someone could post a comment if they're not dumb like us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't even know what Ash
Wednesday
is, recognizing. Why the ash on the forehead.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But to those of you celebrating Ash Wednesday out there, a happy Ash Wednesday.
Absolutely.
There it is.
All right, so here we are again. Let me play you a little something to get us into today's episode. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, what's going on?
So this is something I found. I'll let it speak for itself. Here we go. See if you recognize this.
And if he doesn't respect you, he won't respect me. And he will eventually leave.
And he's too valuable an asset.
I didn't just fall off a turnip truck.
There it is.
I have no idea what it is, but I like it.
So the last line is our idiom of the day. Didn't just fall off the turnip truck. Or any version of falling off a turnip truck. I didn't think you'd actually guess who that is. That's season 2 of Suits.
No.
And Jessica Pearson has given a little lecture there. I didn't just fall off the turnip truck.
The whole connotation of that you're just a country bumpkin.
That's it.
Falling off a turnip truck.
So the correct usage of it would be somebody who's gullible or naive or even stupid is someone who fell off the turnip truck.
Which is funny to portray anyone who lives an agricultural or rural life as just dumber than a sack of hammers.
Yeah, it's always negative.
It's not like, he just fell out of the taxi cab.
It's like, I
just
don't
fell out
believe
of the
your
taxi.
lies. I didn't just fall off the turnip truck.
Yeah, but it's that it's associated with the country bumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
That it's not like the slick city boy.
Right.
You fell out of the taxi cab. That makes you
Right.
smart because you live in the big city.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's more than just being dumb. It's like that country bumpkin, uneducated turnip truck.
Which is interesting. Of all the trucks in the world, you got you got a fire truck.
Yep.
You got like a dump truck.
Yep.
What else you got?
Monster truck.
Monster truck, a pickup truck.
Yep. That'd be a great monster truck.
Delivery truck.
Just like all done up like a turnip.
The turnip truck.
The turnip truck.
People flying off of it.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, wheels of steel. Here comes the turnip truck.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yes,
ding.
you gotta have that. Guys in overalls, no
Getting
shirt.
run over by bosses.
Missing teeth.
And then you need the grave digger to pick them up. But then, so you get all these types of trucks. They're kind of like, the dump truck, the fire truck, a little more manly. And then there's the turnip truck.
That'd be a great car show. You're just walking by all these trucks. And there's the turnip truck. The whole being gullible. Do you find yourself being gullible? Like, do you fall for stuff? Or you feel like, you're
feel
pretty
like-
sharp.
Well, of course, you feel like you're sharp because how else
But
would
there's
you
always
feel?
something, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a new scam.
You can't know enough about everything to be an expert on. Eventually, someone could pull something over your eyes.
Yeah, totally. Of course, everybody's
You can't
susceptible
know
to something.
everything about everything.
There's a well, it's probably not that new, but this fake phone call going around, whether it's the IRS or the CRA, depending on which side of the border you live
Or the
on,
IRA, if you're in Ireland.
or the IRA, where they call up and they go, "Hey,
got a bomb.
recalculation of your
Is
taxes."
this the IRA?
Stop it.
Okay.
This is a real thing.
Okay.
And so I would think I would never fall for this. The scam is they call you up, they go like, "We've reassessed your taxes. You actually owe fill in the blank." It's reasonable but scary, like $2,000 or $1,500.
That's not reasonable.
No, but
That's just
it's
scary.
like it's not like they're calling up going, "And you owe $50,000," and you're like, "No, I don't. I didn't make $50,000." And so they pick this number and they're like, "You know what?
They must have found out
don't
about,
hang up."
about that fat podcast money.
And then they get you to they keep us on the line. If you want to take care of this over the phone, we'll take $500 off of it. You know what? Why don't we, if you're not comfortable using your credit card, keep me on the line. Go to any store, and they tell you to go up to a gift card rack and pick up iTunes cards, scratch them off, and read the numbers off. And then we'll wipe your slate clean.
This is ridiculous.
So it sounds ridiculous, right?
Because
I'm
IRS is taking.
I apologize now, but I'm throwing her under the bus. My mother-in-law got this call.
Okay.
Fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I'm sad.
So she's like freaking out that she has to pay this money. How did we do this wrong? They keep you on the line. She got in her car, drove to Home Depot.
No.
Went to the little the rack of cards, and they're like, look for iTunes cards, pick the highest one you can, and then we'll just scratch them off. Buy those, and we'll scratch them off, and we'll take care bit by bit.
No.
And she's picking the cards off the rack, and she just went, something triggered, and she's like, no, and hung up on them and called me. I'm like, oh my goodness.
That is amazing.
You got all the way to the store? No, that's so,
go past the turnip truck
when I think of, gullible, that was one. But you know what? Like, she's a smart lady.
She's smart, but trusting that the situation couldn't possibly be getting a scam.
Totally. Yeah.
That's I'm glad that they didn't get her in the end, because that would have hurt.
It's brutal, right?
Yeah. Right.
So not a scam, but sort of the opposite end of being gullible, being someone who fell off. Maybe you've heard this before, but this is so great. This happened just a few weeks ago, where an insurance company in the States put a tiny line in their fine print. You know how we're always signing stuff and we're saying accept terms and conditions, but nobody's ever reading the fine print. And one would say, well, if you didn't, there's a lot of insurance claims that don't go through because you didn't read the fine print. So this lady, last month, middle of March, she gets this whole big insurance plan and takes it home and reads it from top to bottom, every fine print, everything in there, and discovers that the insurance company had put in one line that says, if you're reading this line, you've read more than 99% of our clients, and the first person to call this number will receive a reward of $10,000. So she did, and she got it.
No.
The insurance company, they publicized it as a big deal. They're like, people just don't read the fine print.
Well, if they're hiding 10 grand in there, you'd start reading it a little better.
Right. Well, that was their thing, is they were trying to incentify. Is that the word?
Incentivization.
What's the word?
You got a whole George W. Bush thing going on.
I was incentivized to read their contracts. That's what their point was. Like, read this stuff. Read it. So anyway, she did not fall off the turnip truck. She read it all.
It got me looking into the turnip truck, and I'm like, talking about, a previous episode, we talked about the pear salesman. Why a turnip truck?
Right.
As far as all things, you like corn on the cob or something that you would see in bulk. But have you ever seen a turnip truck?
I don't think. No.
Like, what is that? Maybe when you go through California, you see the tomato truck or something where they have just
that's true.
But I've never seen a turnip truck.
No. But, go back far enough and you got a farmer, that's his main crop is just turnips. He's got to haul it somewhere. So why don't we get into, you know what we're getting into.
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origin.
It just doesn't get old.
Dobby Ravies.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's get into the origins. You got stuff?
Not so much.
Okay, let me take it from here then.
You got it.
Okay, so if you don't know what a turnip is, let's start there.
Okay, a turnip, I do have some of this.
Okay.
But it is a cruciferous vegetable.
Actually?
A cruciferous, which I had not heard this word before.
I looked it up and didn't find that
from
word.
The Brassica family, with its Latin name being Brassica rapa, subspecies rapa, which I thought was just funny. Brassica rapa, subspecies rapa.
I can't believe there's not a rapper out there who calls himself that.
Brassica rapa?
And he wears brassica knuckles.
That are made of turnips.
Turnip with 4 holes in it.
These are brassica knuckles?
Look at my brassica knuckles.
It's like that joke is so deep.
B.A. brassica. from the
you go.
A-Team.
That's funny. I pity the fool who don't like cruciferous vegetables.
You can't even say it. You're laughing.
Yeah, but there was a part of the brassica family of vegetables, which included things like Brussels sprouts, bok choy, rutabaga, cabbage.
But they don't all grow underground. Like Brussels sprouts aren't a root vegetable.
So it says part of the brassica family, which perhaps in all that Latin, they just apparently mustard is in there somewhere. And anyways, but yeah, part of the.
Well, see, I'm going to sound dumb. You got Latin, and I'm like, it's a round root with white flesh, eaten as a vegetable. Oh, but here's something. Did you know this? The leaves of it are edible.
No,
like that you can eat the leaves. You can cook with leaves.
I did find we'll get into this other part in a bit, but that you shouldn't feed it exclusively to animals.
You should not?
not.
Like not exclusively to animals or not?
Or just in general, no one should eat these exclusively.
Why do you say that?
Apparently it has some messed up thing it does to your diet.
If you eat only turnips.
These foods are goitrogenic properties.
Wow,
means that they can cause symptoms resembling iodine deficiency, or they can exacerbate a marginally iodine deficient diet, affecting your thyroid gland.
Wow.
Yeah, so like if you have like a terrarium with like a king cobra in it or something, not that you would keep a king cobra.
That's
but
good.
So hypothetically,
Good example.
if you had a king cobra
or a cow,
don't feed it exclusively turnips. Yeah, that'll mess up its thyroid.
Wow, no, it's interesting. We're both looking up the same thing, and I didn't get any of that. But I will say this: as long as people have been eating turnips. Like it just goes way back. But just as long as we've been eating turnips, it's always been viewed as food for the poor. Like the poorer you are, the more likely you're eating turnips. There's the ancient Greek playwright Aristophanes wrote about beggars. He said they were so impoverished that they ate not turnips, but the scrawny leaves of turnips. So already eating turnips means you're poor. But these beggars were so poor, they were only eating the leaves, which are edible, we've learned.
Except for like king cobras.
Except for king.
Don't feed them to king cobra.
But it's funny, you said don't feed them exclusively to animals or whatever. But it was kind of became a throwaway vegetable, like just use it for your barnyard animals.
I would think things like that, a root vegetable, that no big deal, makes me think of like a war depleted place.
Yeah.
Like eating potatoes, like war-torn Russia or something, where you're
we're
eating
down to our
potatoes and we're
turnips.
making vodka and that sort of thing. It was when I was coming through Latin related things, the Ophiophagus Hanna turned up, which
Never heard of her.
it was it was the things that you don't feed turnips to, which is the king cobra.
Actually?
Yeah, that was the Latin. It was the Latin.
But he will eat it?
Yeah, that you shouldn't feed too much of it. It'll mess with their thyroid, apparently.
And what happens? A king cobra starts to gain weight? What's the big deal if it messes with his thyroid?
He's just an enormous king cobra with a big lumpy head.
Is
or
he
something.
eating something? He's looking around. No, turnips. It's
bad
it's thyroid.
guys.
It's bad for his thyroid. Finally, we find the Achilles heel of king cobras.
Throw turnips
The
at it.
kryptonite of the king cobras is turnips. Yeah, so it was a throwaway vegetable given to farm animals, pigs, cows, and whatever. And so perhaps because it was considered suitable eating for barnyard animals, it became to be known. It became associated with, like what we said, dullness and stupidity. Like, oh, it's for your cow. What are you doing? And
It gets elevated in the 20th century as a meme used by Michelle Obama.
really?
Yeah, where she did check it out on the YouTubes. She did with the DJ Snake, the turn up for what? Where she's there. She's got a turn up. She did a Vine.
Is this real?
This is a real thing. Yeah, Michelle Obama doing a Vine.
Our wall says turn up for what?
Turn up for what?
Turn up for what?
Turn up for what? Yeah, so it was a hashtag turn up for what?
And what was her point?
She just said she had a turn up. So Vine, like 6 seconds, whatever you can do back in the day. She holds up and it's like, turn up for what? And then the DJ stays.
And it just went.
So song starts going, and then she just starts dancing. So yeah, turn up for what? So that's how it gets elevated to first ladies from the poor,
From the poor,
all the way up
first lady.
to your first lady.
But even turnip eater, that was like that was slang. That was
did you call me?
derogatory. Yeah, you're a turnip eater. Yeah, got a bunch of turnip eaters. We got to deal with the homelessness problem. Turnip eaters. That was just poverty. You were a turnip eater. Turnip head was a peasant or a country bumpkin, like we said, and then it just whittled down to turnip. You're a turnip.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like poor people.
I am what I am.
The beggars at the front of the city. Turnips. It's just
There's
got
like
bad.
some root vegetable humor in there.
Okay, so as far as written root vegetable humor,
Well, root vegetable humor, it's like turn up for what, or I am what I am.
yeah, you could
There's got to be
do
some.
10 minutes on turnips and root vegetables. I'm sure someone has. Okay, let's get into the origins of the written, like using it as an idiom. So it goes as early as 1656. Book of poems that refers to a poor turnip-eating clown. And even Charles Dickens' Pickwick Papers in 1836, his character Sam Weller refers to himself as a soft-headed, incredulous turnip.
It would have been the Stephen King It story would have been so much different instead of eating children if he'd eaten turnips.
That's all he can eat.
Would have just been a different story.
I think that
Kid in the drain as the boat goes
Attack
by.
of the Killer Turnips.
Can you get me some turnips?
So similar to what you said about not seeing a turnip truck, so far the truck hasn't entered the origins. So where does the truck come from, right?
Yeah.
So here there's a couple of probable causes. And this is we got Latin. This is literally the dirty nerdy origins. If idiots are turnip eaters, or shorten that, if idiots are turnips, they might also fall from the turnip truck because they are turnips. So what truck would the turnip wouldn't fall off of a banana truck? So they just fell off the turnip truck, which means if you fell off a turnip truck, you're a turnip. Secondly,
That seems cyclical.
it also could be from the assumption that we'll call them simpletons, just always lived out on the farm. Like if you were in the city, you were more educated. The
that right
morons
there-
lived further out. So the only way into the
That
more
hurts my
posh
feelings.
society would be to hitch a ride on some sort of truck. And back whenever, 1800s, produce was coming in by trucks. So you're already called a turnip. You came in on a truck. You probably came in on a turnip truck.
See, I have lived in the city my whole life, and I don't think that people from the city are so smart
No,
that they should be categorized.
Why?
That we throw this as country bumpkin.
Why do the smart
We're so
people-
smart. We live in the city.
Make a bunch of money, move out of the city.
Well, because they want. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's so amazing. Why do you want to get out?
You want to go be with the turnips. Hang out with the turnips. Okay, so here...
Maybe you just seem really smart out
this
in
is
the country.
the part I thought was actually interesting. So there's a lesser known, less used idiom that means the exact same thing. That is to fall off the cabbage truck. Have you heard that one?
No.
So it's the exact same thing. It means the same as the first one. But here, like if you say I didn't just fall off the turnip truck, is the same as saying I wasn't born yesterday. So here's why the cabbage one probably should have stuck, because the cabbage truck goes all the way back to, I can't remember the year or whatever, but they would say that if you were just born or if a mother was answering a child, where did I come from? But they're too young to hear about the birds and bees. They'd be like, oh,
Cabbage?
I found you in the cabbage patch. That was a thing instead, or same as
A Cabbage Patch
same
Kid.
as a stork brought you. Yeah, it goes. So I was just a fluffy answer that parents would give. Found you in the cabbage patch.
It was like turn down children's
And then
toys.
it turned into like kids could have a Cabbage Patch look, which just meant they were adorable. Like because of my freckled eyes, I'm a Cabbage Patch Kid. I have a Cabbage Patch look because I'm adorable.
Wow.
People can't see my adorable freckles though. That's disappointing. So yeah,
You
then
really have to
enter
look
the
on your
Cabbage Patch.
insides to see your
Yeah.
adorable nature.
I really want to be loved for my insides anyway. So then comes the Cabbage Patch dolls. Yeah,
So, and then the really poor kids had turnip
Patch dolls. You didn't adopt them.
Your mama so poor, she couldn't afford a Cabbage Patch doll. She had a turnip truck doll.
Oh, I heard a funny derail for a second here. A Yo Mama joke was Yo Mama's so fat I can't lift her up in prayer. Anyway, Okay, so getting back to the more popular phrase, didn't fall off the turnip truck. Here's many sources that I looked up said that phrase probably would have disappeared with turnip trucks, except for Johnny Carson, the talk show host legend.
Yes.
Did the Tonight Show from the 60s to the 90s, and apparently that was like a thing he said constantly. It was like, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck, and it gave life that has lasted into...
Probably he sought out a phrase that was just falling off that he could pick up and have a comedic, be his own phrase that's not being used.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah. So
pick an old idiom and no one's using it.
Yeah. Now it's so a lot of finger pointing and credit went to Johnny Carson for just using in his skits and his banter.
Turn up for what, Johnny?
Yep. And then before we move on, let me play you. It's still being used, just like this clip from Evan Almighty.
Are you familiar with Jim Jenkins, the junior congressman from Tennessee? When I met Congressman Jenkins, he was fresh off the turnip truck. But
still being used.
John Goodman.
Yep, John Goodman, Steve Carell. So yeah, there you go. That's the origins.
It's amazing stuff, man.
It's pretty fun. Every time we do one of these, I'm like, I get into it more than I expected. Just looking up stuff, I'm like, no way. What? And it just, like, I wouldn't have cared prior to doing this. Thank you for doing this with me. I'm
so glad we could
I feel
do
like
this.
one day I could go on Jeopardy and handle one column.
Before this, things that have fallen off turnip trucks for 100, Alex. Me. Because I only know one column.
I'm a turnip head.
So let's get into, we should get some riddles or some jokes going on. Probably get some jokes in here.
All right.
Beforehand. I got a little something prepared for you.
So for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, we have challenged each other that every episode you got to come with a joke, an original joke, and good, bad, or ugly, you got to come with a joke that goes with this theme. What do you got?
Let me tell you, Mark. I saw a man with a pocket knife meticulously whittling a meat-eating turnip on a cross.
What? This is terrible already.
I wanted to work in Easter.
I could tell.
I asked, what are you doing there, old timer? He says, I'm carefully carving a carnivorous cruciferous crucifix.
You can almost guarantee that what you lead with at the beginning of the episode is coming up later. Say it again. This is a tongue twister.
I'm carefully carving a carnivorous cruciferous crucifix.
Cruciferous crucifix. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was trying to rope in all these similar sounding words.
I like it.
That was my alliteration gag.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start with the classic. Did you hear about the turnip farmer? Here we go. Did you hear about the turnip farmer interested in finding out about his family tree?
No, I haven't.
He didn't? Well, he went to a lab in the city to get one of those DNA tests done. But when he saw that there was a take-home version of it, he opted for that and headed back to the farm. I guess he wanted to get back to his roots.
Nice. Good. That's a good root. Root vegetable.
Root vegetable, family roots. That's our terrible jokes for the day.
Thank you for sharing. It's all good.
Well, yeah, before we do get to Riddle Links, couple of shout-outs. We'll make it quick. I'm not doing everybody, but newcomer to throw us a hello, Tanya Barron. Thank you for chiming in and chatting with us. And then the correct answer to last week's Riddle Link, which was chicken and turkey is the oldest thing to walk beneath the sun in Middle Earth. There's a few wrong answers. Usually people are on these. There's a few wrong answers. The correct answer was poultry beard. And that was Jade_GTB.
Nice.
Yeah. So thanks for chiming in.
Absolutely. We love to hear new input. And if you're looking to give any input, whatever, at any time, make sure you give us an email.
Yeah.
The email's at the thevillageidiompodcast at gmail.com. Drop a DM on the Instagrams. At the.village.idiom. Or YouTube and Facebook are both search up 3minutesgone.com.
Sort of our mother umbrella company.
The overarching parent individual.
Okay, I got to add in something new right now because Karen Hurston contacted me again. She wrote more lyrics.
My mom's got a verse too for you.
So this is, she wrote lyrics to the same tune that Dobby...
After what you said about her previously in the episode, she's not writing you anymore.
Yeah. Dobby Ravies...
It's very unkind, and I disagree.
Me too. Dobby Ravies wrote the Origins one, so she wrote lyrics to the same tune for Riddle Inc.
Wow, she's creative.
How does it? I got to think about it.
I said some words.
Riddle Inc. It's designed to make you think. You take a clue, first one, then two, and see what that old brain can do. Riddle Inc. Not bad, eh?
That's pretty good.
I know.
She's a very creative woman. She's very artistic. She's a fantastic cook, and she has a good creative bend. So I'm glad she's chiming in.
Super fun. So Riddle Inc. is a game we've been playing for years and years, and we've incorporated it into our podcast. And it's a 2-part trivia-based riddle that requires a 2-part overlapping answer. So give me one.
Okay, this is going to go hard.
That's a lot of silence.
Oh no. Ophiophagus hannah turnip.
Oh, isn't that the same thing? Ophiophagus hannah. I remember that.
Ophiophagus hannah turnip.
Hannah turnip. So something about iodine or something?
I'll tell you,
I don't even know where to go with this.
Ophiophagus hannah was a type of snake.
Oh, see, I already forgot that. I thought it was a type of turnip.
That's the other part. This one's hard.
King Cobra. Oh, man.
And then the other part I did in Latin.
Okay. King Cobrasica.
Yeah.
Brassica.
Brassica Rappa. Yeah.
King Cobrasica.
Yeah.
Rappa. King Cobrasica Rappa.
So I did an English Latin flip over.
Wow.
Yeah, to give you something challenging to chew on.
That is challenging. Man, without your hints, I would have had to rewind, listen to this. King Cobrasica Rappa.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that.
It's something different.
That's fun to say. King Cobrasica Rappa.
Subspecies Rappa.
All right, here's yours. You ready?
Yeah, hit me up, man.
What Monica Lewinsky was.
Oh, dear.
And what she fell off of. What Monica Lewinsky was. Let's say this.
She was an intern.
Right. White House.
A White House in turnip truck?
That's it.
Okay, good.
White House in turnip truck.
Okay, good. You're a very classy individual. That could have gone several ways, and I appreciate you taking a good one. Okay.
You got another one?
Absolutely.
This one harder or easier?
This one's easier. The birds
and the bees.
The birds sang a season for everything because country bumpkins fall off me.
The birds sang a season for everything. In every season, turn, turnip truck. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's good too. I wouldn't have known it was the birds though.
It's like their
season
their
hint.
song.
Yeah. I thought it was like the Mamas and the Papas or something. That's good. Okay, so I got one more, and we'll leave it unanswered, so don't jump in.
You got
Although, I'm going to ask you if you know it, but don't tell me the answer, because I think this is really hard.
Okay.
But here it is. What a flora colossus from Planet X would say to define a turnip. One more time, because I stuttered. What a flora colossus from Planet X would say to define a turnip.
That's crazy.
There it is.
Hope you have enjoyed today's episode. I am Skinny.
And I am Jurassic Harampla Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
It's getting deep. You make promises you never keep. It's over now, I'll move along. This ain't a turnip truck I'm on.
Last 3 minutes gone.